Hi there. I'm just your average apple. You know, the one that caused all the trouble? Yeah, that's me. But before we get into all that, let me take you back to the beginning. The very beginning. Picture this. A perfect garden, flowers blooming everywhere, animals living in harmony. Pretty sweet, right? And in the middle of it all, there's me and my tree buddies. We're the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Fancy name, I know. Life was pretty great back then. Adam and Eve had it made. They could eat anything they wanted. Well, almost anything. God gave them one rule: don't eat from our tree. Seemed simple enough. But then this sneaky serpent came along. Boy, was he persuasive. Next thing I know, I'm being plucked from my branch. Talk about a plot twist. One bite later, and boom, everything changed. And I mean everything. Suddenly, humans were out of the garden, facing all sorts of challenges. Talk about a bad apple, huh? For centuries, I watched as they struggled. Wars, famines, all sorts of trouble. It was hard to watch, but through it all, humans kept hoping, kept searching for something more. Then one starry night, something amazing happened. A baby was born in a stable of all places. This wasn't just any baby, this was Jesus, God's own son. As Jesus grew up, he did the most incredible things, healing the sick, feeding the hungry with just a few loaves and fish. He walked on water, calmed storms, and even brought people back to life. Now that's what I call a superpower. But the best part? Jesus told everyone about God's love, how God hadn't forgotten them even after all this time. It was like he was undoing all the bad stuff that started with me. But not everyone liked what Jesus was saying. Some powerful people felt threatened. And then came the darkest day. Jesus was arrested and put on trial. Even though he was innocent, Jesus was sentenced to die on a cross. It was heartbreaking to watch. As he hung there, I couldn't help but think, was this all my fault? But then Jesus said something amazing. He asked God to forgive the very people who put him there. In that moment, Jesus, innocent and pure, sacrificed himself. It was painful, but also beautiful. Because in that moment, everything changed again. But this time, for the better. For 3 days, everything was quiet. But then, another plot twist. Jesus rose from the dead. He appeared to his friends, proving that death couldn't hold him down. Suddenly, I understood. My story wasn't just about the fall. It was part of a much bigger story. A story of love so big it spanned from the beginning of time to that very moment. Jesus' sacrifice bridged the gap between God and humans. The very gap that I had helped create. Now humans have a chance to be with God again, all because of Jesus' love. So remember, no matter how far you've fallen, God's love can always lift you up. From Eden to eternity, it's all one big story of God's incredible love for you. And me, I'm just glad I got to witness it all. From the first bite to the final victory. So next time you see an apple, remember, it's not about the fall. It's about the amazing grace that catches us. This is one apple that's learned its lesson, and boy, am I glad to share it with you.